again. It's going to be slightly different today, though. Last time, things kind of eliminated nicely. Like you would have a negative 5x and a positive 5x, or you would have a 3y and a negative 3y. Today, though, we might have to do a little extra work to get things to eliminate. So now what we're going to have to do is multiply one of the equations by a number so that a pair of like variables will cancel. So now we may have to multiply one of the equations by a number so that a pair of like variables will cancel. So what I mean by that is, let's say I gave you, well, don't think about the entire equation right now, just part of it. Let's say one equation had a 2x in it, and the other equation had a negative 4x in it. Will a 2x cancel with a negative 4x? Yes or no? No, those will not cancel. But do the numbers 2 and 4 have any type of relationship with each other? What kind of relationship? Lynn says yes. Anyone can explain that a little bit more? Any ideas? Is there maybe something you can multiply? Okay, they both have an x. That's correct, Lynn. They both have an x, so that tells you that they're like terms, which is important. We only want to look at like terms. Is there a way, could you multiply a 2 by something to turn it into a 4? Anybody, could you multiply 2 by something? What could you multiply it by, Annalise? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, correct. That is correct. If I take a 2x and I multiply it by a 4, that gives me 8x. If I take a negative 4x and I multiply it by 2, that gives me negative 8x. And would an 8x cancel with a negative 8x? Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Annalise. I'm teaching Annalise today. So I could make them 8s. Is there anything I could multiply a 2x by to just turn it into a 4, though? Like 2 times what is 4? 2. Right. So, oh, and yeah, Lynn, I guess, because I said we want them to be opposite signs, though. So let's say I took this 2x and I multiplied it by 2, right? That's going to become a 4x. Then let's say I didn't do anything with the other number at all, and I just kept it a negative 4x. Now, will those cancel? Will a 4x cancel with a negative 4x? Yeah. So that's kind of what we're going to have to do with this. We're going to have to see what number could I turn this into to make them cancel. Okay, so if you take a look at number 1 here, this is set up in the same way we looked at problems the other day, right? Everything's stacked up nicely. X's are above X's, Y's are above Y's, equal signs are above equal signs. We got our numbers. But if you go through and look at this, will a 12x cancel out with a negative 6x? Yes or no? Nope, those won't cancel. Okay, will a negative 4y cancel with an 8y? No, so that's a bummer. Right now, nothing is going to cancel, but if you look at 12 and a 6, what happens if you take 6 times 2? What's the term? you'd get 12. Then would those cancel? Yeah. Okay, so same thing over here with the y's. What if I instead decided to take this 4 and multiply it by a 2? Wouldn't that become negative 8y? Then wouldn't your y's cancel? Yes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pick an equation to multiply by something to force them to cancel. Right now, nothing's going to eliminate. But I can multiply one of my equations by something to force them to eliminate. So what we are going to do is we're going to multiply this bottom equation here by 2. You'll notice I'm putting everybody in parentheses. Why did I put everybody in parentheses when I'm multiplying? And guys, Asia and Annalise are not the only people, and Lynn are not the only people in class today. So I'd love to hear from some people. Why do you think I would maybe put all that in parentheses? Any ideas? Why would I put something in parentheses when I'm multiplying? So I can distribute, because I don't get to pick and choose what I multiply by 2. If I multiply something by 2, I got to multiply everybody by 2. So here's what we're going to do. Off to the side here, I'm going to rewrite this now, and I'm going to multiply by 2. So get ready. I'm calling on you because I don't know if we're awake. 2 times negative 6x. Aaron, what is 2 times negative 6x? Yep, negative 12x. Don't forget about the x. All right. Hayden, what is 2 times 8y? Yep, 16. Yep, so plus 16y, good, equals. And then Jake Sanders, 8 times 2 is 16. Okay. So here's my new equation on the bottom. I don't need that first one anymore. Right? I don't need this one anymore. I rewrote it. I multiplied the whole thing by 2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our one that was on the top here, and I'm just going to rewrite it in the same place. So I'm going to line up my x's. So I have my 12x minus 4y equals negative 4. Make sure we're writing this down. This is my new problem. I didn't do anything to my top equation. I left it the way it was. And I multiplied my bottom equation by 2. Now, if you guys take a look at this, do you see something that will cancel now? Anybody see something that'll cancel? Yeah, the 12s. We have a 12x and a negative 12x. So that was the whole purpose of multiplying that bottom equation by 2, was to make somebody cancel. And now somebody cancels, right? So now we're going to do the exact same process we did before. We're just going to add our equations vertically, right? Kaysen, what's going to happen with the 12x and the negative 12x? What's that going to be? What's that going to become? 12x minus 12x. Not sure. Jesse, what's going to happen with 12x minus 12x? Nope. All right. Corey, what's going to happen with 12x minus 12x? Well, so we're adding and subtracting. So Corey, what's 12x minus 12x? What's 12 minus 12? 0. They're going to cancel. That's now 0. Okay. Mason B, what's negative 4y plus 16y? Negative 4y plus 16y. What do you think, Mason? Don't know where Mason is. Nick Lopez, what do you think negative 4y plus 16y is? Good. Yep, 12y. Thank you. And then here we actually end up with the same numbers. Negative 4 plus 16 is also 12. Olivia, what would be my next step? Oh dear. Aaron, what would be my next step? Thank you. Divide both sides by 12. So we're going to get 12 divided by 12 is 1. Once I find what one of my letters is, does anyone remember how I then find the other one? Now that I know what y is, how do I find x? Yeah, good. Does it matter which one I pick, Asia? No, doesn't. Yeah, it really doesn't matter as long as you pick one of the original equations. Pick which one looks easiest to you. A normal thing that I do is this bottom equation, we multiplied it by 2. We kind of messed with it a bit. I always like to plug my number back into the one I haven't done anything with, right? But really it doesn't matter as long as it's an original equation. So I know that y is 1, so I'm going to take that and plug it in to y in my top equation here. So that's going to be 12x minus 4 times my open parentheses equals negative 4. And I'm going to plug my 1 in there because that's what y was. And now I'm going to simplify. So remember, we're going to multiply first. We have those parentheses we need to distribute. So I'm going to drop down my 12x. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 equals negative 4. All right, now we need to solve. Hayden, what would you think? What do you think we need to do to now start solving for x? I want to get x all by itself. What needs to move over? Well, so the 12 already has the x on it, right? So think like your 2-column method, the 12 would stay, right? So what do you think instead we should do with this subtracting 4 here? Yeah, exactly. It needs to move over, right? It's not on the correct side. It needs to move over, so we're going to add it over. And if you want, you can always do your 2 columns. So I'm going to add my 4 over. We don't want it over there. I'm going to get 12x, my negative 4, and my plus 4 cancel. And then over here on the right, my negative 4 plus 4 is 0. And then final step is to divide. So I'm going to then divide both sides by 12. And ladies and gentlemen, 0 divided by anything is just what? 0. All right. And then who can remind us how we write our final answer? Yeah, coordinate point, exactly. So x was 0, y was 1, so we write this as 0, comma 1. Okay. Hi, Jaden. So that's our general process here. We're going to look for something that we can force to cancel. We're going to have to multiply something first, okay? I recommend multiplying just one equation when you can. I think there's a few on here that we're going to need to multiply both, but honestly, we might skip those. We're going to see. All right. So take a look at number 2. Jaden, we are on the 5.3 day 2 notes. Oh, is my screen frozen? Can you guys see that I'm on number 2? Oh, there we go. It looks like it just moved. Okay. So we are on number 2 now. We have 4x plus 16y equals 8, and negative 3x minus 8y equals negative 14. So class, I would like to hear from multiple of you at the same time, just like you are like in class. Will a 4x and a negative 3x cancel with each other? Yes or no? No. Thank you. Will a 16y and a negative 8y cancel with each other? No, no. All right, so we gotta make something cancel. Now think multiplying. Let's look at x's first. Can I multiply a 4 by something to turn it into a 3? No. Can I multiply 3 by something to turn it into a 4? No. So x's probably aren't the best choice here, right? All right, let's look at the y's. Could I multiply 16 by something to turn it into an 8? No, but could I multiply 8 by something to turn it into a 16? Yes. So this is the one we want to make cancel. Who can tell me what do I need to multiply 8y by to turn it into a 16y? 2. Very good. So we are going to multiply this bottom equation here by 2. So we're going to take the whole thing and multiply by 2. So here's kind of a process for you. Pick what you need to multiply by, and then we're going to rewrite this equation next to it. So do we need to do anything to our top equation at all? Does it need to be changed in any way? No, it doesn't need to be changed. So that top equation, just so we don't forget about it, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it over so I don't forget about it. 4x plus 16y equals 8. Okay. Now this bottom equation that I have to multiply by 2, we're now going to go through and distribute the 2. So 2 times negative 3x. Corey, what is 2 times negative 3x? Negative 6x. Good. So then line that up with your other x. Jesse, what is 2 times negative 8y? Yep, negative 16y. Good. And then we also have to multiply both sides, right? If you multiply one thing, you got to multiply everything. So Jake Sanders, what is negative 14 times 2? Yep, negative 28. All right, now we are going to combine our terms. We're going to do this vertically. So, Aaron, what is 4x minus 6x going to give us? Yep, negative 2x. Good. Asia, what's going to happen with the y's? Yep, they're going to cancel out. We had a 16y and a negative 16y. Bring down your equal sign. And Annalise, what is 8 minus 28? Yep, negative 20. We got more negatives. Good. So negative 20. And then Hayden, what's our final step for this? Yeah, divide both sides by negative 2. You don't have to worry about dividing by the x, just the negative 2 part. So that'll give us x equals, and ladies and gentlemen, what is a negative divided by a negative? A positive, and 20 divided by 2 will give us 10. So that'll be positive 10. Good, Lynn. All right, now I know what my x is. How do I use that to find y? What do I do with my x to find y? What was that? Very good. Plug the 10 into where the x is. Pick whichever equation you want, but I recommend plugging the one in that you haven't used yet, which is this top one, right? We messed with that bottom one. We multiplied it by 2. So I'm going to plug this 10 in where I see x in my top equation. So that equation was 4 times x. X is going to become this open set of parentheses, plus 16y equals 8. So I'm taking this and I'm plugging it in here. So in those parentheses, I'm going to put the number 10. And now we're going to simplify. Hayden, what would be my first simplifying step here? Yeah, distribute that 4 times 10. 4 times 10 is 40, plus 16y equals 8. And now if you guys want, do your 2 columns, or at least think about your 2 columns, right? Would 40 stay or go? It would go. So that means we need to subtract our 40, right? So we're going to subtract our 40 from both sides, or rearrange your 2 columns if you want. This one's just a 1 step, so you don't have to worry about it unless it really helps you. So then that's going to leave us with 16y equals, and then 8 minus 40 is negative 32. Final step is divide by 16. What's a negative divided by a positive? Ooh, a negative divided by a positive. If you have one of each. A negative, good, Len. 32 divided by 16 is 2. And now we need to write our answer as a coordinate point. So that would be 10, comma, negative 2. We are going to do, let's see where we're at here. We got M. Sorry, trying to decide which ones I want to do together. Let's do number 4 and 5 together, and then I'm going to have you guys go back and attempt number 3, okay? So number 4, we have a negative 4x minus 10y equals negative 4, and we have a negative 2x minus 5y equals negative 2. Do you guys see anything that right now, the way it's currently written, will cancel? Nope. 2's and 4's don't cancel, 10's and 5's don't cancel. Also, too, when we have things canceled, don't we want them to have the opposite signs? Yes, and do you guys see opposite signs here or the same signs? I see also the same signs. So that's something we're going to need to fix. So we will fix that when we decide what we want to multiply by. Does anyone see an equation that we could multiply by something to get these things to cancel? Is there anything you could multiply one of these equations by to make these cancel? Yeah, why negative 2, Aaron? Very good. A negative times a negative is a positive. So if I take negative 2 and I multiply it by another negative 2, won't that become a 4? And a negative 4 will cancel with a positive 4. Very good. So let's do that. We are going to multiply by a negative 2. So I'm going to multiply this entire bottom equation by negative 2. All right. So I didn't have to do anything at all to my top equation. So I'm just going to rewrite that. That's negative 4x minus 10y equals negative 4. And then for my bottom equation, I'm multiplying everybody by negative 2. So if we have negative 2 times a negative 2x, a negative times a negative is a positive. So that'll give us positive 4x. Then we have negative 2 times negative 5y. Jaden, what's negative 2 times negative 5y? You there, Jaden, or did you fall asleep? Okay. Jaden's not sure. Annalise, what do you think? What's -2 times -5y? It is. It's a positive, right? Positive 10y equals, and then on the left, on the right here, -2 times -2 is a positive 4. Well, this is interesting. Anyone know why I think this looks awfully interesting? Everything cancels. We got a -4x and a 4x. They're gone. A -10y and a positive 10y. They're gone. A -4 and a positive 4. Guess what? They're gone too. So everybody cancels. So on the left, we're going to be left with just a 0. And on the right, same thing. -4 plus 4 is also 0. So for this one, Lynn, the y's would cancel. So there are no y's left, right? Because of a -10y and a positive 10y, they're completely gone. So there are no x's left and there are no y's left. Does that make sense, Lynn? Okay. And then, so if you have 0 equals 0, guys, there's nothing left, right? Is 0 equals 0 a true or a false statement? Who remembers? Does 0 equal 0, guys? It's true. So Lynn says it's true. If it's true, yeah, Olivia says it's true. Annalise says it's true. If it's true, is it no solution or infinitely many solutions? What do we think? If we get a true statement, do we say no solution or infinitely many? Yeah, good, Annalise. Yep. If it is true, we say that we have infinitely many solutions. Good. What do we say if it's false? No solution, yeah. So if it's true, say infinitely many. If it's false, say no solution. Good. All right. Let's take a look at number 5, and then I'm going to have you guys try out number 3. So for number 5, we have 18x plus 14y equals -5, and -9x minus 7y equals -2. So the way it is currently written, will anybody cancel? Nope. We got 18s and 9s, that doesn't work. 14s and 7s, that doesn't work. Is there a number we could multiply one of these equations by to make it cancel? Yeah. Would the bottom or the top one, Annalise? Definitely. If we multiply this bottom equation by 2, we will end up with a -18x. And will a positive 18x cancel with a -18x? The answer is yes, definitely it will. So we don't need to do anything to our top equation. I'm just going to move that over. 18x plus 14y equals -5. And this bottom equation we are going to distribute. So 2 times -9y is -18. I'm sorry, not y, -18x. Then Jaden, what is 2 times -7y? 2 times -7y. Yep, -14y, good. And don't forget our variables on these. And then -2 times 2 is going to give us -4. So let's go through and combine. Olivia, what's -18x minus 18x going to do? Yeah, it is going to cancel out. It's gone. Nick Lopez, what's 14y minus 14y going to do? I'm sorry? Yeah, it's going to give you 0. That also cancels out. So on the left, there is nobody left. It is just 0. 0 equals. And then on the right, we have negative 5 minus 4, which is going to give us a negative 9. Does 0 equal negative 9? Nope. So this is a false statement. And if it is false, what do we say? Yep, I agree, Aaron. This would be no solution. This is making me write weird. No solution. There we go. Good. Very good. All right. I want you guys to take a couple minutes and try out number 3. I am going to give you a heads up that the equation you need to multiply is the bottom one. The bottom equation needs to be multiplied by a number to make these cancel out. I'm not going to tell you which number. That's what I want you to try to figure out. But again, the bottom equation needs to be multiplied by a number. So take a couple minutes, think about it, and then I would love to hear from some volunteers. And yeah, so take a minute or two, try that out. Are we trying out number 2? Okay, thank you, Lynn. All right, I know we're probably not all the way through it, but I don't want you guys to sit in silence for too long and fall asleep. So for number 3, we have 3x minus 12y equals 12, and negative 7x minus 4y equals 4. Who figured out what you need to multiply the bottom equation by? What do you think, Annalise? Okay, so 3. So 3 would turn the 4y into a what? A 12y. Now, I do have a question for you. When we want things to cancel, do we want the same sign or opposite signs? Opposite signs. So if I only multiply this part was a little tricky. If I only multiply it by a positive 3, won't I get a negative 12 still technically? Yeah. So, and a negative 12 won't cancel with a negative 12. So instead of positive 3, I should try negative 3, exactly. So we're going to try out negative 3. So multiply this bottom equation by negative 3. The top equation we don't have to do anything with. I'm just going to move that over. 3x minus 12y equals 12. And the bottom equation, we're going to distribute that -3. Aaron, what is -3 times -7x? 21x. All right. Olivia, what is -3 times -4y? You there, Olivia? What is -3 times -4y? All right, maybe Olivia stepped away from her computer. Mason B. Oh, thank you, Olivia. Just saw that you chatted. Yep, it would be positive 12y. Make sure we don't forget our variables. And then 4 times -3 would be -12. And now we are going to combine our terms. So Mason B, what is 3x and 21x going to give us? I'm not sure where Mason went. Corey K, what's 3x and 21x going to give us? Oh, that's okay, Mason. I'll come back to you. Corey, what was that? So we're here, Corey. 3x and 21x. We're adding. So 3 plus 21. Yep, 24x. Did you get lost with where we were? Okay, do you see where we're at now? Okay. Now we're going to combine the y's. So Mason, back to you. The -12y and the positive 12y, what's going to happen there? Yep, that would just cancel, equals, and then here, same thing, guys. You got a 12 and a -12. That's also going to cancel, and we can put our 0. Jesse, what would we need to do now? Jesse might have stepped away from his computer. Jaden, what do you think? I got 24x equals 0. Jaden, what do you think I need to do? Not sure. So how can I get my x by itself? What do I need to do with this 24? I'm trying to solve for x. Divide. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Lynn. We are going to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 24. And that's going to give me x equals 0, because 0 divided by anything is 0. Jaden, do you see why we needed to divide there? Okay, cool. All right, now we have x equals 0. So if x equals 0, oh, Dallas, you're here. Dallas, when did you sneak in? Okay. All right, so you might need to, you probably missed the first couple. You'll probably need to go back and watch the video, okay? You can do that during your SRT today. All right, so we have x equals 0. So can somebody tell me, now that I know x, what am I going to do with this x to find y? Do I want to plug into where there's y's? Yeah, we want to plug it into where there's x's, because isn't this an x equals? So since it's an x equals, we need to plug it in for x. Okay, thanks, Asia. So we're going to plug it in. So x is going for x's, y is going for y's. Does that make sense, Annalise? Okay. All right, hi, Bailey. All right, so let's plug that in. I'm going to plug it into my top equation. We're going to have 3 and then our parentheses, because x is getting replaced. Minus 12y equals 12. So we're going to plug in that 0. And now we are going to simplify. So, ladies and gentlemen, what's 3 times 0? 0. Only heard from one person, but that's okay. Bring down our 12y equals 12. Now, if we have 0 minus something, does it really matter? Do we need to keep it? What do we need to think? What do we think? Do we need to keep that 0? No, Aaron says no, I agree. We don't need it. Doesn't matter. We could add it over. It doesn't change anything. So I'm just going to rewrite this as negative 12y equals 12. And now we need to divide both sides by what? Negative 12. Very good. So divide both sides by negative 12. Oh, I don't know why it won't let me write there. It's mad at me. Hold, please. All right, we're going to divide by negative 12. There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, a positive divided by a negative is a what? A negative. And 12 divided by 12 is 1. So that should be negative 1. And then we're going to write our final answer as a coordinate point. X's go first. So that would be 0, comma, negative 1. All right. I want to look at, well, first of all, before we move on to something else, are there any questions about this or elimination in general? I know that a few of you were late, so like Bailey, you'll probably need to go back and watch the video during SRT, okay? So again, look for something to cancel. If nothing cancels, you might need to multiply. I want to try out maybe like 1 on this back side, but then I'd like to go over a few homework problems with you guys to get you kind of started on that, because I know that, you know, systems of equations can be a tricky subject. So on the back side, I just want to look at number 1 just to say that we did it. And then we might, I have to look at your homework. I might get rid of the ones like that on your homework. So now what we're going to do is now we may have to multiply both equations by a number so that a pair of like terms will cancel. So now both equations are going to have to get multiplied. Now if you look, take a look at number 1 here. We have a 2x minus 2y equals negative 10, and a negative 3x plus 5y equals 17. 2x's, okay, Dallas, 2x's and negative 3x's won't cancel. Negative 2y's and positive 5y's won't cancel. Also, let's think about it for a second. Can you multiply a 2 by anything like this 2x? Sorry, distracted. So this 2x, can you multiply a 2x by something to turn it into a 3x? No, or vice versa, right? You can't multiply 2's and 3's to turn them into each other. What about, can you multiply a 2 by something to turn it into a 5? No, and same thing, 5 to 2. But is there a number that you could turn both a 2 and a 3 into? Is there a number that both a 2 and a 3 could turn into if you multiplied them by something? 6, yeah. What I want you guys to kind of think about is, yeah, you can't turn a 2 into a 3 or a 3 into a 2. You You can't turn a 2 into a 5 or a 5 into a 2, but 2 times 3 is 6. So could I turn these both into 6s? Or here, 2y and 5y, what's 2 times 5? 10. Could I turn these both into 10s? Yeah, either one. We're going to go with the x's because from my experience, you guys struggle less with the one that's in the front. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn both of these 2x's into 6x's. So if I want to turn this into a 6x, I need to multiply by 3. Can someone explain to us why I picked 3? Why am I multiplying it by 3? Anybody, why did I pick 3? Why am I multiplying by 3? Why am I not multiplying by 500? Or why am I not multiplying by 7? Why did I choose 3? Because 2 times 3 is 6. Exactly. And can we turn a 3 into a 6 as well? Yep. Okay, so we're going to multiply this entire top equation by 3. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 2y is negative 6y. Put your equal sign. And then 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. Then for the second equation, who can tell me then what I need to multiply the second equation by? Someone who's not Annalise, because Annalise is literally the whole class today. 2. Thank you, Olivia. We are going to multiply it by 2. We are going to multiply it by 2 because 2 times negative 3 will give us a negative 6x, which is what we want. Those are going to now cancel. Then 2 times 5y is plus 10y, and 2 times 17 is 34. So now we are going to combine. So let's combine here. We have a 6x minus 6, I'm sorry, yeah, 6x minus 6x. What's going to happen if you have 6x and you take away 6x? Very good, it cancels. And then here we have negative 6y plus 10y. What's negative 6y plus 10y? 4y equals, that's okay, Jaden. And then negative 30 plus 4. What is negative 30 plus 4? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Negative 30 plus 34. Yeah, thanks, Jake. It's 4. All right, good. Now, what do we need to do? Very good. We're going to divide both sides by 4. And 4 times 4 is? Not 4 times 4. 4 divided by 4 is? 1. Thank you. All right. So now we have what y is. How do I then find what x is? What do I do? Now that I know that y is 1, what do I do with that y? Anybody at all? What do I do with my y? Yeah, we plug it in. Now, I have to make sure I plug it in for what letter though? Y, because it's a y, right? Now with this one, I've messed with both equations, right? So it doesn't really matter which one I pick. In this situation, pick whichever one looks easiest to you. Pick an original one though. Which original equation do you guys think looks easier? Sure. Let's use the bottom one. Less negatives, I think. Or, I don't know. But we'll pick the bottom because that's what Annalise said. So, Annalise picked that one. We're going to plug it into that one. So, we are going to plug this one in where we see y in this bottom equation. So, That is going to give us negative 3x plus 5 times, and put your parentheses, equals 17. We're going to plug our y in there, which is 1. And now we are going to simplify. We're going to distribute first. So drop down your negative 3x. 5 times 1 is 5, equals 17. Who can tell me what I need to do next to solve this problem? Any ideas? What do I need to do next? So I already distributed. Okay, I did that. We got our 5 times 1, which is 5. So now I have negative 3x plus 5 equals 17. What should I do from here? Very good. We have to get rid of the 5. We're going to subtract it. Yep. Bring it to the other side. It's a positive, so when I bring it to the other side, I need to subtract it. So that's going to give me negative 3x. My 5's cancel. And 17 minus 5 is 12. Then last step, who can help me with it? What's my last step here? I agree, Erin. We are going to divide both sides by negative 3. And 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. And then someone I haven't heard from in a while. How do I write my final answer? Tell me you're awake. How do I write my final answer? Yeah. Hayden, is that what you were going to say? Oh, Corey, you said 1 comma negative 4. Yeah, make sure you put the x first. So x's go first. No, that's okay. X's go first. It'd be negative 4, 1. You knew to write it as a coordinate point. You flip-flopped it accidentally. All right, good. So that's all we're going to do for our